He was invited to Mar-a-Lago more than a dozen times. Trump called him a terrific guy. Then Epstein died in a jail cell that should have been the most secure on earth. And Trump? He changed the subject. This is the story of how a president learns to make a scandal disappear. Before he was president, before the Access Hollywood tape, before the 2 impeachments, there was Jeffrey Epstein. They ran in the same Florida circles. Palm Beach, New York, private planes. Epstein wasn't just a donor. He was a fixture, a friend. Trump even said so himself in a 2002 New York Magazine profile. "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy." That quote would age like poison. But in 2002, it was just another rich man defending another rich man. Then came the arrest in 2019. Not for tax fraud, not for insider trading, for sex trafficking minors. The world finally saw Epstein for what he was. And Trump, who had been president for 2 years, did something interesting. He went quiet, then loud, then quiet again. Epstein was arrested at Teterboro Airport on July 6, 2019. He'd just flown in from Paris. The FBI found lewd photographs, massage tables, and a safe filled with cash. Within days, reporters started asking Trump, "What was your relationship?" His answer? Carefully curated distance. "I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I haven't spoken to him in 15 years." But flight logs told a different story. Trump flew on Epstein's plane, the Lolita Express, at least once in the 1990s. Possibly more. And yet, the story never fully consumed Trump. Why? Because he understands something most politicians don't. Scandal isn't about truth. It's about attention span. On August 10th, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his Manhattan jail cell. The official cause, suicide by hanging. But the cameras, all 16 of them, malfunctioned that night. His cellmate had been transferred days earlier. The guards were asleep. For 3 hours, no one checked on him. Conspiracy theories exploded. But here's what actually happened. The story got so big, so fast, that the system couldn't control it. So the system did what it always does. It waited. Because in the news cycle, no story lasts forever. Something else will come along. A trade war, a missile strike, a tweet at 3 a.m. Enter Iran. February 28th, 2024. The United States launches coordinated airstrikes with Israel. The Strait of Hormuz closes. Gas prices spike. Suddenly, cable news isn't talking about Epstein. They're talking about oil, about retaliation, about World War III. Anand Giridharadas, author and Substack writer, put it bluntly. You might almost imagine it was rational for someone in such a desperate situation to do literally anything to change the subject. Desperate? Trump was facing unredacted Epstein files. Congressman Jamie Raskin reviewed them. His finding: Trump's name appears more than 1 million times. 1 million. That's not a cameo. That's a pattern. January 2024. The Justice Department releases a partially redacted set of Epstein documents. Hundreds of pages. But Raskin saw the full version. He told reporters, "The president's name is everywhere. It's not just flights. It's phone logs. It's non-disclosure agreements. It's internal Epstein scheduling notes. None of it proves a crime. But that's not the point. The point is proximity. The point is Trump knew. And for years, he pretended otherwise. Yet, when the files dropped, the media cycle lasted exactly 11 days. Then came the strikes on Iran, and Epstein vanished from the front page. Michael Wolff, Trump biographer, told the Inside Trump's Head podcast something uncomfortable. He has done what he always manages to do, Wolff said. Change the subject through a fundamental reordering of the narrative. Wolff pointed to Venezuela, to Maduro, to any foreign crisis that could be weaponized as a distraction. Elements of Trump's foreign policy posture, Wolff argued, function as a political distraction from domestic scrutiny. That's not conspiracy. That's strategy. Create noise. Flood the zone. Make the Epstein story just one headline among 1,000. In April 2024, the Epstein story almost came back. A new batch of photos surfaced, some showing Trump and Epstein together at a 1992 party at Mar-a-Lago. This time, it wasn't Trump who responded. It was Melania Trump. She issued a rare public statement denouncing what she called mean-spirited and politically motivated lies. But she didn't deny the photos. She denied the intent behind sharing them. A subtle but important shift. The story faded again within 48 hours. Because no one in power actually wanted it investigated. Not the White House, not the DOJ, not even most of the press. Jared Heridas read this aloud on his Substack. A war broke out. Human beings circled the moon. Kim Kardashian was spotted with Lewis Hamilton. Memories faded, and the virus of collective rage went hunting for new hosts. That's the mechanism, not a cover-up, not a deep state conspiracy, just attention scarcity. Was the Epstein story just another story? He asked. Was it just more grist for the mill? A chance to vent frustrations of an age in which some get away with anything they do, and others never get anything they need. So does Trump think he can get away with Epstein ties? He already has. Not because he's innocent, not because the evidence is weak, because he understands the modern attention economy better than any politician alive. Outrage is a renewable resource, but it's also a perishable one. Every scandal has an expiration date, unless someone forces it to stay open. And no one has. Not the media, not the Democrats, not even Epstein's victims, who are still waiting for full accountability. Trump didn't bury the Epstein story. He just outlived it. And in American politics, that's the same thing as winning. If you want to understand how power survives scandal, don't just watch the headlines. Watch what happens after the headlines fade. That's where the real story lives. Subscribe, stay skeptical, and never stop asking, who changed the subject and why?